Hello dear student, today we are going to see the rest part of this chapter number 15, clauses. In the previous lesson I have already taught what is meant by clause. Again if I am going to say you, then it's a clause is a group of words which contain now subject and a finite verb. In the other sense we can say subject and a predicate. Predicate may be of a single finite verb or may be of a set of the word which contain a finite verb. I have also explained you what is meant by finite verb and what is meant by non-finite verb. Then we have seen exercise 1. I sent the answer of exercise 1 as well as exercise 2 answer also I have sent. In that we seen what is main clause and what is subordinate clause. Now today we will going to see about subordinate clauses. Subordinate clauses include a finite verb but do not make a complete sense on their own. They are also called dependent clause as they must be used with the main clause to create full sentence. Okay. The house which stands on the hill is haunted. When the match was over, we went out to celebrate. We can recognize subordinate clause by looking out for subordinating signals, which can be subordinating clauses, conjunction or relative pronoun. In the first sentence, which, the house which stands, which is subordinate is a relative pronoun, and when the match was over, we went out to celebrate. When is a subordinate conjunction. Okay. So now we are going to see these are called the subordinate signals, so that we can come to know that if any word is that like that they danced until they were exhausted. Until. Okay. They danced and until they were exhausted. Until they were exhausted is the subordinate clause. She is the one who took your ring. Who took your ring. These are the subordinate signals through which we can identify that this is the subordinate clause. There are three types of subordinate clause. Noun clause, according to their function, how they function in the sentence, we have divided into three types: noun clauses, adjective or relative clauses, and adverb clauses. Now let us see noun clause. She expect a prize. She expect that she will get a prize. Here look at this sentence. She expect a prize. Here what she expect? A prize. Noun is there, or we can say object of the verb expect. What she expect? Prize. It is a object of the verb expect. In the second sentence, the noun is replaced with a subordinate clause that she will get a prize. That she will get a prize is the object of the verb expect and does the work of a noun. So it is called a noun clause. A noun clause is a subordinate clause which contains a subject and a predicate and does the work of a noun. Noun clause usually begin with, here you have to put the underline so you can in the exam you can easily identify whether it's a noun clause or adjective clause or adverb clause. Noun clause usually begins with the conjunction that, if, whether, what, etc. or with the interrogative why, what, where, when and how. These are noun clause. Okay. Here some examples are given. Then an easy identification for noun clause is that they answer the question what. I know that he is innocent. I know what I know that he is innocent. Answer the question of what. Now, let us see the function of the noun clause. A noun clause can function as subject of a verb. Subject of a verb. What he says seems true. Here, subject of a verb, what he says. Okay. Then that you would compromise shocked me. What shocked me? That you would compromise. Subject of the verb. Where they are going is unknown. What is unknown? Where they are going. This object of the subject of the verb is unknown. Okay. Then here, so in this way noun clause can function as a subject of verb. Then object of a verb. Object of verb you know very well. I know that Lena bought a new car. Object of verb, verb is know. And what I know that Lena bought a new car. That is object of verb. He can't remember where he left his key. Remember is the verb. And what he can't remember where he left his key. Then the next function is the object of preposition. Don't judge her by how she looks. Object of preposition is preposition here by how she looks. I can rely on what he says. On. Object of the preposition on. I can rely. On what I can rely? That on what he says. She knows about what you did last summer. Here the object of the preposition is about. About is the preposition. About what you did last summer. So object of a preposition. Then subject of complements. Used after copular or linking verb. This concept we have already learned. The fact is that he does not know the answer. Tells more about the subject. Fact. What is fact? That he does not know the answer. Here, in this sense, it is a subject of the complement. His greatest fear is that he may be successful. He may not be successful. Here, what is his greatest fear? That he may not be successful. So, in this way, this function is the subject of a complement. Then an element of opposition to a noun or pronoun. Here opposition words meanings I am going to sending you that a relationship in a noun or noun phrase. You must always remember this: hard work always pay. In opposition to the pronoun this. You must always remember this. Now what to remember this? This is a pronoun here, and that hard work always pays. Do you still believe that lie? That it was Sumesh who stole the money? Here in opposition of the noun, lie. Noun lie के opposition में आता है. Okay? When a noun follows by the another noun or a pronoun to describe it, the second noun is said to be in opposition to the first. Here what is meant by opposition? That is given. First opposition means in the relationship of a noun or noun phrase. When a noun follows another noun, when a noun follows, here noun lie is there. Do you still remember that lie? That it was Sumesh stole the money? Here that it was Sumesh stole the money is in opposition of a noun lie. So when a noun follows another noun or pronoun to describe it, the second noun is said to be in opposition to the first. A noun clause doing the work of a noun is therefore in opposition to noun it describes. Now in the second sentence, the noun clause is in opposition to the pronoun this. Do you still remember that lie? In the second sentence, in the first sentence, noun clause is in opposition of the pronoun this. That you must always remember this. Here, this pronoun. What this? That hard work always pays. This in the second sentence, the noun clause is in the opposition to the noun lie, and in the third sentence the noun clause is in the opposition to the noun opinion. So this is called an element in opposition to a noun or pronoun. Depending on this concept, Here one exercise is there, that underline the noun clause and write its grammatical function. Means is the subject or the object or subject complements. I'm sending the answer in the PDF, so don't worry about it, and no need to follow here the what is written. That also don't try to look it, because I'm sending the answer very clearly. Okay, in that I have separated the noun clause, that he will he will participate is certain. Now what is certain? That he will participate, and this is the subject of the verb, and likewise I will send you the answer. Okay, so don't worry about it. Now about adjective or relative clause, and again I am going to tell you, remember the function of adjective. Adjective always adds something to the noun or pronoun, and relative clause are the clause which have the relative pronoun in it. Okay, now look at these sentences. The new coat is in the car. Here new, which coat? New coat. New is the adjective. The coat which I bought yesterday is in the car. Which coat which I bought yesterday is in the car. So here the word new describes the coat. That means it is an adjective. And in the second sentence, the clause which I bought yesterday modify the noun coat. Add something to the noun coat. And that means it is does the work of adjective. And so it is adjective clause, as it contains subject and a finite verb also. I bought. An adjective clause is a subordinate clause which contains a subject and a predicate and does the work of an adjective. You have to put it underline so you can easily. What is adjective clause? An adjective clause is a subordinate clause which contains a subject and a predicate and does the work of an adjective. An adjective clause is usually placed immediately after the noun or pronoun it modifies. This also the another key you have to keep in the mind. An adjective clause is usually placed immediately after the noun or pronoun it modifies. You learn also about relative pronoun. The same thing you have to apply over here. While an adjective often comes before noun or pronoun. Adjective comes before this is a good boy or this boy is good. Good here adjective comes before the noun and as well as comes after the noun. But adjective clause usually placed immediately after the noun or a pronoun it modifies. Then about some relative pronouns. They are we, who, whom, whose, which and that. That you know also. She is the girl who works in my office. The computer which I usually has crashed. He has lost the painting that you gave him. In the sentence above, who, which and that are the relative pronouns used to introduce adjective clauses. Who, whom and whose are used for person. That you know. Who, whom and whose are used for person. Which for things, and that can be used for both person and thing. Now relative adverbs. Relative adverbs are where, when and why. I have visited the place where Lord Krishna born. Where? The time when the flight will land has not been announced. When? I don't know the reason why he is so upset. Why? Here in this sentence, where, when and why are relative adverb used to introduce the adjective clause, and such an adjective clause specify the place, time and reason. Here they are the time, place. First in the place where Lord Krishna born. Where I visited Lord Krishna born. Okay. Why? Which time? When the flight has been landed. Okay. So here these are specify the place, time and reason. We sometimes omit relative pronoun. That also sometimes it's happening that sometimes we, as it is known, we are omitting it. But while writing the answer, we have to introduce it. So we sometimes omit relative pronoun or relative adverb while introducing adjective clause, but they are understood. Which pronoun is there? That they are understood. See here, Anubhav saw a girl, she knew. Anubha saw a girl, she knew. Now, no need to write like this. Anubha saw a girl whom she knew. Here, whom is understood. Likewise, the reason he has come to ask for my card. The reason, now the reason, obviously the reason why, here, so why is here understood. So it is no, sometimes we omit it in writing. Where is the gift he left for me? Here which we omitted. The day you get a promotion, I will celebrate. When? So here the when is omitted, but it is understood. Now here in this exercise, for what we have to do, we have to underline. Underline means pick out, keep in the mind. Pick out the adjective clauses in the sentences and write the relative pronoun or adverb which introduce each such clauses. Means which is the house where your uncle lives. Now here where your uncle lives. Okay. That is the clause, adjective clause. And where? Where is what? Where your uncle lives. Here where comes with a pronoun. Okay. Where your uncle lives. So here also I'm going to send you the answer of this exercise in the PDF. So no need to here going for the discussion of the answer, because I am already going to send you with the video only. Then in exercise 5, underline the subordinate clause in each sentence and write whether it is a noun clause or adjective clause. Here you have to again pick out the subordinate clause. That I know a man who can read a book backward. Now who can read a book backward? You have to write subordinate clause, and then we have to say whether it is a noun clause or adjective clause. Here it is a noun clause. So in this exercise answer also I am going to send you in the writing form. Now about adverb clause. My family arrived promptly. My family arrived before it started raining. Here promptly is adverb. How they arrived promptly. And here when they arrived. It is also adding something to the verb arrived. So it is called adverb clauses. In the first sentence, the verb arrived is modified by an adverb promptly. And in the second sentence, the clause before it started raining does the work of an adverb and is an adverb clause. In adverb clause, a group of words which has a subject and a predicate of its own and does the work of an adverb. And we have already learned about all this adverb clause in chapter number 13. So here we are going to stop our study for today, and next time we will going to meet with the another chapter and according to the syllabus. But as soon as you get this PDF, you please note down in your CW. Wherever there is a doubt, if you are finding, put underline, and whenever you come to school, you may ask me. But before coming to the school, try to listen to the video also one time, so some things may be clear to you. And the things which is unclear, that you may get cleared from me when we meet face to face. Okay. The students who are not coming to the school regularly, please try to listen the video. Okay. So here I am going to stop. Thank you very much.